presentation of Fox Sports.
We are Fox Sports. We are St. Louis.
This is St. Louis Cardinals baseball from beautiful San Diego, California. A day game as the Cardinals look to avoid a sweep. It's the Cardinals and Padres on Fox Sports Midwest. And yes, there is a game to be played today, but the trade deadline is here. John Lackey is on his way to St. Louis. Alan Craig, Joe Kelly on their way to Boston. That's Al Raboski. I'm Dan McLaughlin, and a significant deal for the Cardinals.
Yes, it is. A very somber clubhouse for the Cardinals as they really are mourning the loss of a couple of their family members. But they are excited about the players that we're acquiring, the two pitchers, and I think right now our rotation looks better than it did before the two trades.
And the rotation still features Shelby Miller. He'll get the call today. When we come back, we'll talk about Stan the Man and Tony Gwynn, two of the greats ever in baseball history. Stan the Man and Tony Gwynn. The photos we're about to show you are courtesy of Albert Dixon and the Sporting News. Those two appeared on a cover shoot and also Talking Baseball. The Sporting News thought about getting these two together, and what an interview and what a look inside to great hitters this was. They talked about their bats, their stances, prepping for that day's pitcher. They both agreed the best thing to do, though, as a person and a hitter, stay humble. Two of the game's greats, Tony Gwynn and Stan the Man. Just outside at Petco Park, the Tony Gwynn statue. Many thanks to Albert, and also thanks to the Sporting News. We've got more coming up from Petco Park in just a moment. today. St. Louis will send Shelby Miller to the mound. The young right-hander, 7-8, looking to even up his record to 500. Can the Cardinals salvage a game in this series? We're about to find out. Game number 3, the Cardinals and the Padres, coming up on Fox Sports Midwest. Midwest is brought to you by Bud Light Lime, the perfect beer for whatever happens. Come in and visit Mid-American Chevy dealers and make your move to Chevrolet today. And by Menards, save big money at Menards on all your home improvement needs. Beautiful day here in San Diego. 20 minutes to go for the trade deadline to pass. Cardinals still active. John Mozeliak will join us in the 4th inning. And also we'll swap announcers in the 3rd. You'll hear from former Cardinal Mark Sweeney, one of the top pinch hitters that baseball has seen. Played with the Cardinals in the mid-90s, and he's working as an analyst with San Diego. He'll come over here for an inning, and Al will head to the 3rd inning with Dick Enberg over on the San Diego side. What a beautiful day. Cardinals make the deal, and we'll see how they respond.
Well, we'll see right now, and I just saw that the crew chief just asked Mike Matheny to come out and check one thing on his scorecard today. Cardinals are playing with a short bench, as they have 23 players right now.
And we take a look at Mike Matheny's lineup with Matt Carpenter leading it off, and then Colton Wong and Matt Holliday. Matt Adams, Johnny Peralta, last 13 games hitting .341. A.J. Pierzynski back in the lineup. So is Oscar Taveras. You'll see that a lot. Peter Borges is in center. Shelby Miller is the pitcher batting 9th. But Arismer Despagne, he is a Cuban defector. You'll see various arm angles from him. Different deliveries to the plate. A pitch maker, he's 2-2.
Kind of reminds you of El Duque, the way he throws and comes set. But he did play 8 years in Cuba at the professional level before coming and signing with the Padres on a minor league contract. Matt Adams is in the lineup, and hopefully he's got good eyesight for today's action.
Let's take a look at the defense for the San Diego Padres. Seth Smith is in left. Alexi Amarista is in center. Will Venable in right. Jan Solarte has paid dividends for the Padres. He's at third. Everett Cabrera at short. Jed Jerko at second. Yonder Alonso is at first. Yasmani Grandal behind the plate. Around the Horn is brought to you by Dobbs. Bud Black and the Padres, they also made a move as they shipped out Chris Denorfia to Seattle. Picked up a couple of minor leaguers about an hour ago.
And you can see how everybody's changing that lineup card. Maybe we better check on ours.
And a strike at the knees underway, and a beautiful day here in Southern California. A strike to Matt Carpenter. He's batting .284 with 6 home runs. He's driven in 37.
No doubt a beautiful day here, but there's some heavy hearts in that Cardinal clubhouse.
It's a shakeup. There's no doubt about it. And after watching the way the team has performed in back-to-back nights, I think most people consider this an underachieving team. A shakeup isn't necessarily the worst thing.
You know, an underachieving team, you could say it's been that all season long. But you know what happens a lot of times, players around the trade deadline, they want the front office to do something. Then once they do it, they go, well, we didn't want that guy to go. We don't want this guy to go. They are excited about the pitchers they acquire, but it's at the expense of losing some very close friends.
There is the human element of a deal,
sure,
but that's the career path you've chosen. That's one of the dangers, if you will, of the job, that you could be traded and moved around. And you know what? The sun will come up tomorrow. Life goes on, and get ready to play baseball in the final 2 months. Here's the 0-1 pitch. Inside to Colton Wong.
And, you know, it is a business. And once players accept it as a business, then they understand moves and they understand the transactions. But you've got to play out the string. You've got to do your best.
One of the byproducts of this deal, you'd have to think, is that Oscar Taveras plays every day in right field, and a significant look at what he could do every day at this level.
Well, that's what you would think. And Mike Matheny was asked that question, and he says, well, it means he's playing today. And as you said, we'll probably have another transaction on Friday.
Here's a ground ball hit to the right side. Quickly 2 down.
You would think that another position player would be coming up, as you really don't want to go with 13 pitchers.
Brings in Matt Holliday. 2 outs, nobody on. So you have Shelby Miller in this rotation. Now Justin Masterson, John Lackey, Lance Lynn, and Adam Wainwright. Pretty good 5. And a fly ball lifted into right. The Cardinals will go in order in the top of the first. Padres coming up. No score here from San Diego. 2006, and a team that's playing very well here at home and pitching very well as they continue throughout this 2014 season. Everett Cabrera, switch hitter, leads it off, and then Amarista Solarte this series is 5 for 8. Seth Smith, arguably the hottest hitter in the month of July. Jed Jerko, Yonder Alonso, Will Venable, Rene Rivera, and Despaigne is hitless in 10 plate appearances this year. Gorgeous day here in Southern California as Cabrera leads it off.
Shelby Miller appearing for the 21st time. Made a couple appearances. He's 0-1 ERA over 5 in one career start, one relief appearance against the Padres. Pitched much better at home than on the road, but he's pitched better in the second half also. So hopefully he can duplicate what he did in Chicago. He got a no decision, but he pitched very well in that ball game. And he worked well with A.J. Pierzynski, and they're back together again.
Shelby Miller got married in the offseason. His best man was Joe Kelly. Joe Kelly got married in the offseason. His best man was Shelby Miller. Former teammates now, and who knows, maybe Joe Kelly would start against the Cardinals when Boston is in town next week. And a strike at the knees to Everett Cabrera, and we're underway. Third baseman, that's Carpenter. He's playing in, and quickly strike two. Mike Matheny telling me the other day he really liked the combination of Miller and Pierzynski. AJ telling me it's been a crash course in trying to get all the information that he can from Tony Cruz and Derek Lilliquist and Mike Matheny on these pitchers. Also the league to an extent. But a lot of fastballs the other day. There's another one. The first three have been fastballs from Shelby Miller.
Well, Pierzynski, kind of an old school guy, and old school is you establish your fastball the first time through the order. And Shelby has a good one, so he should never be afraid to use it. You can make your fastball more than one pitch just by changing location.
And the two-strike pitch is hit out of play. John Lackey started games 2 and game 6 of the World Series. Matter of fact, he's pitched now in 2 clinching World Series games. He did it last year against St. Louis, the starter in that game, and also in 2002, the clincher for the Angels as they won a championship over the Giants.
And Lackey has a very good season going for the Red Sox and now the Cardinals. Could see Kelly and Lackey matched up against each other.
We know this weekend with Milwaukee in town, Wainwright on Friday, Masterson making his Cardinal debut Saturday, Lance Lynn on Sunday. Two and two the count on Everett Cabrera. Long is there, and a liner is caught for the first out. Well, when you look at postseason starts by active pitchers, CC Sabathia leads the way with 18, just 2 back John Lackey. Then Verlander, Beckett, and Hamels. The BJC Healthcare difference maker is John Lackey.
Boston, most recent World Series title for Lackey, and then with the Angels.
Here's Amarista. Looks at strike one. Breaking down the season for Lackey. He is 35. He's gone at least 7 or more 10 times this year. So pitching deep into games 10 times. 1 run or less in 13 games that he started. So he's had a good year.
Yeah, 11 wins, and you watch a little video, a lot of strikeouts. And when he doesn't strike somebody out, it's usually a ground ball.
That's swung on and missed, and a strikeout for Shelby Miller. His first of the afternoon, and it brings in Jan Solarte. A look at the Cardinals defense with Holiday in left, Borges in center, and Oscar Taveras is in right. Matt Carpenter, Johnny Peralta, Colton Long, and Matt Adams along the infield. A.J. Brzezinski is behind the plate. Around the horn brought to you by Dobbs. Peter Borges, his second consecutive start as Solarte digs in. And John Jay is on the bench. He's been dealing with a sore wrist. They hope to have him back in the lineup this weekend. Old-fashioned hard ball right there. 1 ball, 1 strike. One and 2 on Solarte. So Denorfia, Chase Headley, Houston Street, all gone from San Diego. Talk of Joaquin Benoit could be on the move as well. Ian Kennedy, a pitcher that they have that many teams have shown interest in. And one of the pickups is the man at the plate, Jan Solarte.
Jan Solarte is a good move for both the Yankees and the Padres. Chase Headley goes to New York. He's off to a good start. And Solarte's been a little RBI machine for him, the Padres.
Big gap in right center. 2-strike pitch taken inside to even it up.
Bud Black changes his lineup. He doesn't do any of us a favor, does he?
Not just 1 for 1. It's wholesale changes in this lineup late as the lineups were exchanged, and Solarte initially was batting 5th in the lineup. Seth Smith was 3rd. Smith now cleanup. Then he had Grandel batting 5th. Now it's Jerko. So all kinds of changes for this lineup. Three-two pitch. The trade deadline has not disappointed. If you like excitement and changing the look of some teams, you're getting it here in 2014.
Yeah, it's interesting because there's so much more parity in baseball, and then you have the double wild card, but a lot of activity.
Arguably the biggest name out there was John Lester, and he was traded. Boston traded him away to the Oakland A's, along with Johnny Gomes. Cespedes coming back from Oakland to Boston. You still have David Price out there. To the Rays field, they have a chance to potentially get a wild card spot and hold on to him. That's hit sharply to first and handled by Adams. 1-2-3 inning for right-hander Shelby Miller. Adams leads it off when we come back. Score in the top of the second. And let's check in with Jim Hayes. Jim, we were down in the clubhouse earlier today. An emotional Joe Kelly as he said goodbye.
Yeah, that clubhouse was as somber as I've seen it in a long time, Dan. But a number of the players were saying they understand that it is a business. And they also said if they had played better, then maybe the front office wouldn't have seen a need to shake things up. But Joe Kelly was very emotional. He called the Cardinal clubhouse a family, and he told me he didn't find out about the trade until after he got to the ballpark. So now it's time for him to move on. Alan Craig as well. He told me he was happy with his time in St. Louis and was looking forward to a new opportunity. Mike Matheny said before the game that he's excited about the addition of Lackey and Masterson, but he said that's tomorrow. Today the Cardinals have to figure out a way to control their emotions and go out there and get a win.
And a fly ball into right off the bat of Adams. I asked Joe about the deal after he met with the assembled media, and he said he was blindsided, Jim. You know, he had not been pitching well. He truly did not expect this.
Yeah, he had no idea this was coming. And you could see, Dan, you were down there. He had tears in his eyes. He had thought he had found a home, but that's the nature of Major League Baseball. Guys are always on the move, and now he'll go to Boston. And as you pointed out, there's a good chance that Kelly, if it works out, he's in line to do so. But he could start for the Red Sox against the Cardinals when the Sox come to St. Louis next week. That would be something to see.
Here's Johnny Peralta with one out. It's also the nature now of the business, whether you like it or not, that players sometimes will find out about deals through social media or watching television. And our understanding is both Craig and Kelly found out through Twitter and through watching MLB Network. Is that true, Jim?
Yeah, they did not hear from a club official until after it was broken, I think on television. But they didn't think anything was set in stone until they heard it from John Mozeliak. Both of them talked to Mo, and both of them went into Mike Matheny's office and shut the door, so they had some time there. But I guess that's the world we live in, Dan, that I'm sure the teams would like to handle it one way, but information leaks out.
And we both spoke to A.J. Pierzynski. How about his thoughts on his former teammate coming to St. Louis in John Lackey?
He said that he called Lackey and told him, see, you can't get rid of me that easy. But he said he knows that Lackey is a serious guy and that he throws strikes and he will help this ball club. And he said Lackey's excited. He said he's got 2 rings. He wants a 3rd, and he thinks he can get it with this ball club, Dan.
Good stuff, Jim. Again, we'll visit with John Mozeliak coming up in the 4th inning. 2 balls and no strikes here on A.J. Pierzynski.
And about how the players found out, you know, it was unofficial. The trade really was not official when they were informed or saw it on Twitter or on television. And that shouldn't happen, but and Mike Matheny said it came from the East.
Well, I mean, it's the way it is. I mean, if you look at any of the deals that are being talked about, you know, the Cardinals have been in on Price and the Pirates, Detroit, Lester to St. Louis. I mean, you hear all of it.
Yeah,
so
and it's very unfortunate because you're talking about people's livelihood, their families, you know, everybody's involved in it. And in a perfect world, you wouldn't know about it until it is official. But you know, a lot of these guys are missing their former teammates.
Under the glove of the shortstop. That's Cabrera. He was playing near second base. Had a long way to go, and Pierzynski beats that mini shift. Cardinals have their first hit. We have Al's Toyota keys to the game.
Well, it's like you say, it's a business, and the front office has done their job, and now it's for the players' turn to pick it up a little bit. Everyone can look in the mirror and find out what more they can do to help this to a winning season. But nobody in that clubhouse can say that front office and ownership hasn't tried to help them out. And it is a much better rotation now than it was.
I don't think there's any doubt about that. Here's Oscar Taveras.
And part of the reason we say that, Dan, is we really had 3 guys in that rotation that were not pitching enough innings. He was putting too much of a burden on the bullpen. That only lasts so long, and you burn out one of your assets.
0-1 pitch. I love the fact that John Lackey has all the experience in postseason play, and you get to postseason play, you wouldn't think twice about putting John Lackey out in any situation.
Absolutely not.
Obviously, a track record there. The 16 playoff World Series starts. Here's a 1-1. Taveras hits it out to deep right. Get going. 2-run shot for Oscar. He wants to play every day. Play this man.
A byproduct of trading Alan Craig is you would think that would clear a spot for Oscar Taveras every day. His second big league home run, first since his second at bat in the big leagues, and you can see he's pretty happy about it.
So am I.
Really?
I want to see what he can do.
I absolutely know. And if you're going to bring him up here, it just seems like you should play him every day and find a read, because the way he's been playing so sporadic, it's probably not fair for him. He'd probably be better off in the minor leagues, but right now he's got a chance to play every day.
The players know what's going on. Oscar Taveras, we could see him pressing in the at-bats. You're getting a start, and if you don't come through in the start, you may be sitting the next day. And maybe this is a situation where he looks at it and says, okay, I'm going to have a chance to play every day. Cardinals may talk to him about that. And let's see him play 5, 6, 7 days a week. Righties, lefties, 4 at-bats a night. See if he gets in some kind of groove as Borges drives this out to right. And Venable is there. Oscar Taveras, his second home run in the big leagues. That'll wake everybody up. And some offense for St. Louis. 2-0. Midway through 2. Home run, RBI 7 and 8, and the Cardinals have jumped out to a 2-run lead. The AT&T fan photo. Tweet us your photo using the hashtag #STLFanPhoto. It's Seth Smith, Jed Jerko, and Yonder Alonso. I'm also intrigued to ask Mo about the contract status of John Lackey. He has an option, I believe, and it's for $500,000. And you may be wondering, John Lackey, $500,000? That seems ridiculous for a guy with his resume. Well, the Boston Red Sox, when they decided to bring him to their organization, the medical team looked at his elbow And the thinking was at the time he was going to have Tommy John surgery at some point over the course of the contract. So they said, look, we'll invest in you, but also a part of this deal, a $500,000 option. So we get a year back and basically not forfeiting a year, but saying, hey, we'll forfeit big money and pay you while you're hurt and then have you come back and give us a year back. So that's part of the deal, I believe. But we'll find out with Mo. And John Lackey had even spoke of not even playing for the $500,000 and had even thrown out the word retirement or holding out, but don't want to get too far ahead of ourselves with that. The other aspect of this, too, is Corey Luttrell, who is a 22-year-old lefty at A-ball. The Cardinals get him coming back. He has a mid-90s fastball. So what kind of future does Corey Luttrell potentially have in the organization?
Interesting article today in USA Today by Bob Nightingale. Really making the case that go ahead and trade all the prospects. Rarely do they come through. For every John Smoltz, for Doyle Alexander, there's multiple busts every single season.
Here's a 1-1 pitch to Jed Jerko. After the flyout of Seth Smith, Cardinals see Boston on Tuesday. We've got John Lackey, A.J. Brzezinski, Yoenis Cespedes, the home run champion, Alan Craig, Joe Kelly. Adds certainly a different look from what we thought beginning of the season. Taveras going back. He'll look up, and it's an opposite field home run. Jed Jerko, his second home run in this series. 7th the year. It's 2-1.
And remember, we talked about it. At nighttime here in California, the ball does not travel. But in the daytime, the ball will fly. We've already seen 2 home runs. And here's an opposite field home run. The top of the strike zone, up and away. He goes with the pitch, and it just takes off in daytime.
Breaking ball and a strike to Yonder Alonso. Beginning of the season, who would have thought that Alan Craig would even be a player the team would even think about trading? Very club-friendly contract. You're talking about a guy that when he was hurt last year led the league in RBIs with 97. A vital role in a couple of teams that get into postseason play for the long haul of 12 and 13. And obviously a big part of 2011 at the tail end. But he had a dramatic fall off. He just was not the same player.
And you really, he never used it as an excuse, but your foundation is so important in hitting.
Here's a ground ball and taken there by Carpenter.
You really have to wonder if the right knee or the left ankle is still bothering.
Well, the foot.
Yeah, and that's what I meant by the ankle. So, either side, one, you just don't have any balance.
Fewest errors in the National League. That's presented by Dobbs. It's Cincinnati, and the Cardinals are 3 back. 2 outs and nobody on, and a good fastball again from Shelby Miller to Will Venable. And I think you're saying that, Al, because many times, we would see Allen off balance, and it just made you wonder about the lower half and whether or not he ever was healthy after the injury. Now, he would tell us he was 100%.
Right.
But it just did not look like the same guy that we had seen over the last couple of seasons. And hopefully he gets it going with Boston.
Absolutely. We'll be pulling for both of them. when they're not playing the Cardinals.
Alan Craig. Boy, it's odd seeing that hat on top of Alan Craig. We ask about the lingering effects, and you see the dramatic drop in the numbers. Here's the 0-2. Next inning, Al will go over on the San Diego side, and Mark Sweeney comes over to visit with us. Mark Sweeney knows a thing or two about trades. Came to St. Louis in a deal.
I bet he'll remember.
This game's tied. Will Venable, his 5th home run.
Venable was their MVP a year ago, and he's been struggling, and see, not much of a stride, and he connect that. But once again, you pull the ball down either line, it'll fly here.
So 3 home runs combined hit in this game, and now it's tied up 2-2. Rene Rivera. When the Cardinals acquired Mark Sweeney, that was a minor league deal, and then he was traded from St. Louis to San Diego. And Fernando Valenzuela was part of that deal. Scott Livingstone. And also Phil Plantier, who's now the hitting coach.
Mark Sweeney went on to have a very, very good career, primarily as a pinch hitter.
175 career pinch hits. That's got to be one of the toughest jobs in sports.
No doubt.
More times than not, coming into pinch hit late in games against specialists, hard throwers, closers.
Really, when you go up there, it's such a, as you say, a tough chance. Sometimes you're sitting on that bench for 3 hours, and then you have to go up there and try and hit somebody with a specialty pitch or a lot of great velocity. And really, the only time you kind of criticize somebody if they don't swing, just taking pitches. There you see Mark and Pickenberg. I wonder which one's older.
Three and two the count. We are not seeing many breaking balls at all from Shelby Miller today.
Throwing a few curve balls, but I think the first time through the order trying to establish the fastball. But Shelby now with the 2 home runs today is allowed 15 on the year. That's the most on the club. He has cut down his walks.
You make a deal, you're trying to jumpstart a team in the Cardinals case and get innings, but you also worry about the culture of the clubhouse and guys fitting in, and you had a very, very likable 2 players in Alan Craig and Joe Kelly. Little flare to shallow right. Taveras coming on and makes the catch. Jed Jerko, an opposite field home run to get the Padres on the board. That was his 7th. Will Venable down the right field line with his 5th. Couple of solo home runs. It's tied it up. It's 2-2. in all of sports. Pinch hitting. Mark Sweeney, one of the game's best, 175 career pinch hits, second all-time in Major League history. Mark Sweeney joins us, the former Cardinal and other teams, 6 or 7 of them. But, boy, you made a career out of that, and it's one of the toughest things to do.
I didn't dream of being a pinch hitter in the big leagues, but, man, was it great. Just even putting those uniforms on. And it was 7 teams. But I tell you what, the first one in St. Louis, a lot of fun.
96 was your first season with the Cardinals, and you came over from the Angels. And you didn't, at that time, as Shelby Miller looks at a strike, probably didn't know what you were getting in for, did you?
I had no idea. And coming over to a new organization, obviously I knew the history of it. But being in that uniform and getting that call up after a few weeks in AAA was a dream come true for me. And I didn't realize I was going to play that first day. I ended up getting a start at first base. And I looked down at probably the 5th or 6th inning, and I said, man, is this uniform beautiful.
I bet. The birds on the bat, one of the most historic logos and uniforms in sports. Strikeout of Shelby Miller. Mark Sweeney is with us, longtime major leaguer, works as an analyst for the Padres, and we've swapped analysts for an inning as Al is over there with Dick Enberg. And here's a look at Matt Carpenter. A 2-2 game, and there it is, the birds on the bat. And at that point in time, you never know who would come through the clubhouse. Maybe a guy named Musial, or maybe Gibson, Brock, and I'm sure you saw that too.
Dan, I think that was the greatest part. You know, obviously the players that were there at the time, but history of the game and the history of the St. Louis Cardinals was probably the best part of my experience in a St. Louis Cardinals uniform. Then you realized it's a special place to play, and the fans come into play, and just the atmosphere. My first games were against the Cubs. I was sitting there with Ozzie Smith and seeing the Wizard across the same locker room. Pretty special for me.
Yeah, 96 was really a neat year in the fact that Tony La Russa was his first season. As Carpenter breaks his bat, pulls it foul. The team was 1 win away, and it's one that I think really bothers Tony, and I'm sure players too. You were 1 win away from going to the World Series, up 3-1 on a great Atlanta team. But Ozzie's final year, from a player's perspective, what was that like, watching the fanfare and what went into that final season?
I tell you what, Dan, and being on the bench, and Ozzie Smith was not playing a significant amount of time because Royce Clayton was the shortstop, and they were trying to mix and match with them. But the benefit that I had as a young player and learning the game, I spent one night in particular over the railing of the dugout. And Ozzie Smith talked to me for 7 straight innings about everything about baseball, how to prepare, how to work, how to treat your team, be a good teammate, how to treat fans, off the field stuff, how to handle your business.
Off the glove of Despaigne. Oh, what a play here. Jerko nearly came up with that, and it's a base hit for Carpenter.
But you understand the impact, and I remember making a phone call to my mom and dad, and I said, I learned the game tonight. And it was what Ozzie Smith lent. And yes, I've heard so many messages along the way from other people, but it was Ozzie Smith saying that credibility behind his career and what he did. But the luxury of a young player seeing Ozzie Smith have a conversation with that. And I got that from a lot of the teammates in St. Louis. It was a special team, and what a great start to a career.
Here's Colton Wong. The trade deadline is come and gone. Cardinals have been active. San Diego traded Chris Denorfia. You were a guy that was traded. What is that like from a player's perspective?
Oh, man, mentally, your head is spinning. You know you're wanted by the other club, and you're getting shipped out, so that personal relationship with your teammates is the first and foremost of how you're going to handle that. And then what's next? And it's that thought process of, man, I can't believe I got traded from some place that I really enjoyed playing. I enjoyed the players. I enjoyed my teammates. And that's a tough adjustment. But moving forward, I think a lot of players adapt to, I have to control today and move forward and understand, embrace that next opportunity.
Colton Wong at the plate, 2 balls and no strikes. A 2-2 game. A 2-run homer by Oscar Taveras in the second. Solo home runs by Jerko and Venable to answer for San Diego. The 2-0. Good changeup. Mark Sweeney is with us, and this pitcher that you have here, we likened him to El Duque with some of his mannerisms.
Yes, and limited the leg kick on that one, giving different looks, different speeds, different angles. Despaigne has been excellent in a Padre uniform. The record doesn't indicate how he's pitched, and the one thing I'd say about this young man is he embraces bigger moments. We've seen some starts in Los Angeles and also San Francisco. Tough environments to pitch in, and he's been better in those stages. He likes the environment. He doesn't worry about that, and I think it's benefited him. He slows down at times, which really comes into play, and that's when he's struggling.
I think anytime, too, you're talking about a Cuban defector, these players, they're not going to be nervous. I mean, they've been through so much in their personal life, and you think about them going to play a baseball game or pitching or hitting, something they've done all their life. They just don't seem to be overwhelmed with the spotlight.
I think that's a great point, because if you look at his minor league numbers and before he got up here, they weren't very good, and the reports were very inconsistent. But he gets up to the big stage in the big leagues, and he knows he doesn't have to worry about those things and can go out there and pitch on the biggest stage.
Runner was going. That was Carpenter back to the bag at first, and a foul ball. 2 balls and 2 strikes on Colton Wong, who grounded out to first his first time up. We've seen the Cardinals. It's been a struggle offensively. They don't hit for a lot of power. Last year, they were unbelievable with runners in scoring position. Hit a ton of doubles. That's slicing near the line and drops in for a hit. Carpenter, with the slip by the left fielder Smith, will wind up at third, and with that, Wong to second base with a double. You could see Seth Smith slip a little bit on the turf. He'll replace his divot. And with that, Wong and Carpenter take to second and third.
Just nice hitting by Wong, but then you see Seth Smith struggle in that left field corner, trying to turn and make a throw to second base, and when he slips, he knows he can't get Wong at second base.
And now it's Matt Holliday, one of your former teammates.
Yeah, and I love Matty. Came up with in Colorado, and I was there, and it's a special player. Watching him in this series, his strength is that right center approach, that power stroke to right center field. And a lot of teams try to tie him up, but it looks like Matt's trying to look inside there. And his strength is when he gets his hands extended. We've seen some hard line drives, some one hoppers to the second base area, but when Matt's on, he's hitting that power ball to right center.
Up the middle, 2 runs will score. Cardinals go back on top. It's now a 4-2 St. Louis lead. Holliday with RBIs 54 and 55. Arms extended, up the middle, base hit, 2-run lead.
Well, right on cue, because Matt Holliday understands that's where you get all those RBIs, and that's his strength. Take a look at him. He gets his foot down and early and works up the middle of the plate, and he gets it off the end of the bat, but his approach is the right way, using the big part of the field. 2 huge RBIs for the Cardinals.
Mark, what adjustments did he make from when he first came up to what you see now with Matt Holliday?
Well, I think at times the pitchers want him to be aware of inside, so they would throw it there. But early in his career, he tried to hit that pitch and got tied up a lot. And then he started taking it, and they were balls inside, but then they'd have to leak out over the middle of the plate. You'd see that breaking ball that he can hammer. But his power stroke, and he learned how to pull the ball correctly, which I think Matt ended up going to that next level as a player, and the reason why he signed to a big contract, and you see him in a St. Louis Cardinal uniform.
He's not a guy that works harder, keeps himself in great shape. And Holliday has had back-to-back seasons now where the second half is taking on a different look than the first half. Takes him a little bit to get going, but his second half last year, he got it up to 300. And he's carried the team here in the first couple of weeks since the All-Star break. 2 balls and no strikes on Matt Adams. What have you thought of this young power hitter of the Cardinals?
Well, other than the first bunt attempt in his first at bat, I don't like seeing a power hitter. I don't like it, and in certain situations it might benefit a team, but this is a guy that can power it, and also you see the average. He has made some great adjustments. You can't overthink the shift. Don't get it in your mind, because these guys are built to drive runs in, to power the baseball.
The high fly ball lifted out to left. Seth Smith coming on to make the catch. Holiday back to the bag at first.
But Dan, you saw last night that Matt Adams ended up beating the shift by letting the ball travel a little bit more and driving that ball to left field in an area where they needed to get hits. But that's the right approach. Teach yourself how to drive the ball the other way if you can back the ball up. But it's a special player, and I know he's getting more opportunities now in a Cardinal uniform, and that's a benefit.
It's a great point you make, because he's been better this year going the other way than we've seen at any time in his major league career. Here's Johnny Peralta, grounded out to short first time up. There's a good breaking ball.
Well, it gives you different looks, and he won't show you that same pitch with the same arm angle 2 times in a row. And I think that's what you get a lot of takes from the opposition, and it's the first time for a lot of these guys facing Despaigne. And especially the first couple of bats, you struggle, but this is the first time he's really given up runs early in the game.
And again, different arm angle, just like you spoke of moments ago. Teams rely so much on video, and even that has changed from when you first came up in '96. I believe you retired in '09.
Yes.
Correct me if I'm wrong, but you know, even in that time frame, it changed so much. And you wonder if a team gets a second time through, like you're talking about, in person against this right-hander, how much that changes their approach and what they may do.
It definitely changes it. And you look at the video and you can come up with a game plan, but you have to see it out of the hands of a pitcher, especially when you see different arm angles. He does a lot of hand pressure with his pitches. We heard Greg Maddux talk about that in his career, how he manipulates the baseball moving. Gives a lot of hitters problems, but also not having that consistent release point is very difficult for the hitters.
Here's a 1-2 pitch, and Peralta lines it into right field. Venable is there. A single by Holiday to drive in 2. Cardinals regain their 2-run lead here in San Diego. Cardinal is with us, one of the game's top pinch hitters of all time, the analyst for Padres baseball, and we're swapping for an inning. Al over with Dick Enberg. Mark, kind enough to join us, and you mentioned Despaigne. He'll give you all kinds of different looks, and also a different look with this pitch.
Yeah, Dan, you see the circle change, and when we freeze it, it's that circle change with the middle finger off the baseball, which is unconventional, but you also get a different look. He gives you that changeup, and this is the Colton Wong where he swung over it, but it's that grip pressure that Greg Maddux always talked about, manipulating the baseball, moving it. This young man understands how to give different looks to hitters, and that's what gives them problems.
There's Despaigne at the plate. Then we'll have the top of the lineup in Cabrera and Amarista.
Well, this is where he doesn't give problems. You can see he has not got a hit in his career yet, and an awkward swing and an awkward approach at the plate.
0 for 10 in his big league career.
He did hit a one hopper to first base his last start.
So you're telling me that was, well, hey, 10 hopper to second. Making progress. Follow every Cardinals game with MLB.com at bat on your favorite mobile phone or tablet. Just download at Cardinals.com today. We have the loss of Tony Gwynn and someone that you knew quite well. What has that meant to the city of San Diego?
Devastating, in one word. It was a pleasure to be around Tony as a player and a broadcaster, and learning the game from Tony, watching him, much like an Ozzie Smith for me. The impact of just watching him, as we see the statue out in the park here, devastating to this area, because if you put it in perspective, there's not a lot of superstar athletes that had a lot of impact on the community, and Tony Gwynn is exactly that. We had a ceremony here on the field and at San Diego State, and just devastation for a lot of the fans, and a lot of us have been around Tony.
You would not find a nicer man in this game.
Yeah, Mr. Padre, and the way he went about his business, and being in one uniform for his whole career meant a lot to him. But just being around him and watching how he performed, it wasn't about the hits. He was just a true pro, and everyone rooted for him no matter where you went. You didn't hear the hazing from Tony Gwynn. You heard the respect, much like a Willie McGee was, sure, in a St. Louis uniform.
Hard hit, nice play by Adams on the backhand. He's played well down at first. Well, I have you in the booth. If you were to say to somebody, it takes X to be a great pinch hitter, what is it?
Preparation. I learned that from being around Tony La Russa. He was overly prepared in every facet of the game. So, and it was a culmination of all the hitting coaches that I've had, and you look at it in the game, you have to hit the fastball, but you have to be prepared and understand what situation it is, and you also have to manage the game, put yourself in, and be ready for those opportunities.
Stan said in the article with Tony Gwynn, and we highlighted that in our open, it's a great piece on hitting with he and Gwynn talking about their approach, and Stan said, I never ever was in a situation where I wasn't ready for the fastball.
Yeah, and you have to be, because at this big league level, you have to hit the fastball, and everything works off of that. Sounds simple, but Tony Gwynn did that, and when you hit the fastball, then you start getting the mediocre breaking ball. If you don't hit the fastball, everything's going to look like a two-strike pitch.
And for you to do that, I mean, second all-time in Major League history. When I say that, you got to be pretty proud of that.
Well, the proud part of it is having opportunities and being grateful about the game. The game has been great to me. That's the reason why I want to be a part of it still. And just the teammates and the experiences I've gone through in my career has been phenomenal. And before this inning ends, I got to tell you that starting your career in St. Louis, for me, was extra special, because I understand that special place. Everyone always asks, where was your favorite place to play? It's an easy answer for me. St. Louis was a great education for me in the game of baseball, because of the fans, because of the opportunities.
Great to see you. Great job,
Great
too.
seeing you. Thank you.
Dick Enberg's a lucky guy over there. Let me tell you.
We're all lucky.
Nicely done. Mark Sweeney, one of the classiest guys in baseball. We hope to visit with Cards GM John Mozeliak coming up. Is brought to you by Schnucks, your neighborhood hometown grocer for 75 years. Before he meets with the assembled media, John Mozeliak kind enough to join us. It is now 38 minutes, and the trade deadline is come and gone. And, Mo, you make a big deal. You get, first and foremost, talk about this one, John Lackey coming to St. Louis.
You know, a lot happened over the last 48 hours, and when you think back, it all started with the Masterson deal, really, because when we were able to acquire him and not have to give up pitching to get him, it then freed up us to look at different opportunities that might be out there. And Lackey is somebody that we've had some interest in the past. We certainly felt like we had some pieces that would allow us to acquire him, but we needed the Masterson deal to happen first. And so once those dominoes fell, we were able to do it. And I would say that it's never easy trading players from a major league club because, as you know, you're around the club every day. It does become a pretty tight-knit group. And this team has been through a lot over the last 3 years. We've had a lot of success together, and there's that bond that starts to build. But I have to also sort of look at this in terms of where we're going and how we can get there. And when you look at how our rotation sets up, not only tomorrow but also next year, it's going to be strong, and it'll allow us to do some other things as well now.
How tough was it to give up Craig and Kelly?
It was difficult. I mean, both guys I would consider friends. I'm sure they're not thrilled with me today because they liked being here, and I think that's a compliment to this organization. People don't want to leave. Frankly, people want to join it, and that's a good thing. But days like today are never easy.
What's it mean for Oscar Taveras going forward now and potential playing every day?
Well, you look what was happening out there in right field and trying to balance that. I couldn't imagine how difficult it was for someone like Mike Matheny because you're trying to get Alan Craig going. You're trying to give Oscar some opportunities as a young player. And frankly, neither one were performing at an extremely high level, and it was actually probably putting more pressure on everybody involved. And, this should allow that to be alleviated to some degree. But, as I've always told you, it's a performance business. So Oscar may get opportunities out there, but he's going to have to play and play well.
Yeah, he did earlier with a 2-run homer, which was good to see. 1-2 the count. John, correct me if I'm wrong, but John Lackey has an option for $500,000 next year. Is that correct?
That is correct.
There was talk that he would potentially say, I'm going to retire, I'm not going to pitch for $500,000. Has that been alleviated, the concern of that?
Yes. Spoke with him and his agent. Obviously, we have what would be referred to as like a good faith agreement, if you will. But, clearly for us to do this deal, we wanted him to be a part of our club next year at those dollars.
Masterson is a free agent to be, but tell us why he's the right fit, too.
Well, for us, it was someone that I think when you look at his story this past year, it's something that didn't go as he had planned. And, I think for him, getting a change of scenery, going right into a very competitive environment, a pennant race, if you will, I think is going to excite him, and I do expect some really good things from him. And, I know he's energized with this opportunity. So I think both guys give us a bounce. And, hopefully what you see from this club, moving forward is a little different look, obviously, with that rotation. It should be a little bit more steady. We won't have to solely rely on Wainwright and Lance Lynn for those key innings, and hopefully now we have 2 additions that can go deeper into games, take a little stress off that bullpen, and then also, we still believe in this team offensively, and I know every other week we sort of feel like we're getting close, and then we go back down, but hopefully now you'll see a more balanced attack moving forward.
How active will you be now after the deadline? There's still a chance to do some work.
You're right.
In particular, offensively.
I've always tried to position the post trading deadline in terms of the waiver opportunities as being opportunistic, and so clearly we'll follow that. And if there's something we could do to help build this club, we'll certainly pursue it.
I only get you for a half inning.
I got to run, but it was a pleasure, Danny, as always.
Darn it, I wanted more time, but thanks for coming in. Get your tickets at cardinals.com/theme. Many thanks to John Mozeliak for stopping in. And also Mark Sweeney. That was fun. Cardinals.com/theme for Mizzou night coming up August 15th.
Boy, it was fun talking to a guy younger than you.
And older than you.
I can remember as a kid listening to Dick Enberg when he was doing the Angels.
Did him for years.
Yeah.
I always think of Dick Enberg. I think of snow, football, Merlin Olsen. Growing up as a kid, listening to and watching the NFL. A legend in our business, no doubt. A breaking ball and a strike to Jan Solarte. It was rapid fire at Mo. We only had him for a half inning.
Did a good job as usual.
Appreciate that, Al.
Little bits of information in there that was helpful to kind of understand some of the things.
Well, now that you know that he is getting the deal with a $500,000 option for John Lackey, looks better and better, doesn't it?
Yeah. And usually, off-speed pitch right there, good location, but usually you try to do that not only for the here and now, but for the future.
And a ground ball to second. The Cardinals really have done that. Not to say that other
Right.
teams and GMs haven't, but that seems to be the track record for Mo. If he's going to go pull the deal and give up some of his assets, he wants not only the immediate return, but also some future with that as well. Jake Westbrook comes to mind.
Well, and also if go all the way back to the J.D. Drew trade and everything. I remember talking with the Braves and said, "Oh, this is a trade for help both ball clubs." And they said, "Well, only if we sign J.D. Drew." And they didn't after the 1 year. So it became a very lopsided trade in the Cardinals' favor.
When the Cardinals made the deal with Mo as the GM to get Matt Holliday, was the understanding, and they felt this is where the fans do play a part in what they do, whether you want to believe it or not. But they always talk about, if we can get this individual into a scenario where he experiences playing in St. Louis, we think we have a better chance at signing him. And look, it does come down to dollars and cents. There's no question. However, when you put in the atmosphere and a chance to win, and as Mo said, many players do want to come to St. Louis, it is a difference maker.
Well, the fans, as you say, play a big role. Play in front of a packed house every night. Play in front of fans that only want to see the best in players. They don't really care about the negativity. They just want to idolize them and bring them as part of, somebody they could talk about. The family dinner.
Strikeout for Shelby. That's number 3. 2011, the Cardinals traded away Colby Rasmus, knowing that John Jay was emerging. And what was big for St. Louis at that time, you may remember, was also a Mark Zipchinski, a guy that they thought would be a starter potentially in their rotation. John Jay really emerged, and he's still here and performing.
And many times can't really evaluate a trade until 3 or 4 years down the road.
There's a good breaking ball and a strike.
Ironwork. As this new downtown area is really kind of revitalized. Gaslight Square, and then all the residencies that are moving down here. It's a pretty hard place to beat weather-wise, isn't it?
Oh, yeah. Good fastball at 94. Back-to-back Ks. He struck out 3 of the past 4. All right, guys, looking forward to the postgame show, and Shelby pitching well here today. 4-2 St. Louis lead. Cardinals scored 2 on one swing of the bat by Oscar Taveras, a 2-run homer in the second. And then an RBI single to plate 2 by Matt Holliday. Jerko and Venable have homered, solo home runs for San Diego as Shelby taps it foul.
Cardinals have seen some great young pitching from the Padres in this series. They put together a little bit mightier offense. They may have something going out here.
Wainwright, Lynn, Miller, Kelly, and Waka combined 206 wins as Miller hits it into center. Lackey and Masterson combined 206 wins. Bank of America teaming up with the Cardinals to bring you an unbeatable deal. $9 tickets, and the only game that is left for $9 tickets Wednesday. That's it. Wednesday, $9 tickets, Red Sox and Cardinals. So here's what we're talking about. Lackey and Masterson combined to 206 wins to match the opening day rotation for St. Louis. Here's Matt Carpenter as he takes a strike.
And once again about Masterson, he had a knee problem all season long. Comes off the disabled list tomorrow. He'll make his Cardinal debut on Saturday, getting the start. I watched some video on him.
Here's a ground ball and a base hit into right.
Masterson gets a lot of ground balls himself.
What are you talking about? You mean he fields them?
Well, pitching wise. Yeah. You know, he's a ground ball specialist.
Well, they tell us he has a power sinker.
Right. Talked to Neshek about him, and he just said he is filthy. And sometimes he's had some control issues because his ball just moves so much.
sinker slider. Here's Wong, who is 1 for 2. He doubled and scored back in the third. And is also grounded out to first. Milwaukee adds Gerardo Parra, the Gold Glove outfielder for Arizona.
I don't know if you saw it, but when I was over there, that David Price was traded to Detroit. And good news about that is there were a lot of rumors of him going to Pittsburgh.
And Milwaukee, too, at the very end of the deadline. We understand that they were trying to get David Price. But a wild day in Major League Baseball. Here's a 1-0 pitch to Wong.
It's funny how the domino effect really plays out. You know, one team makes a move and others respond to it, trying to keep pace.
Asdrubal Cabrera, the very good shortstop from Cleveland, goes to Washington as Wong hits it out to center. It's at the wall and caught. What a play up against the wall. Amarista. And back to the bag at first goes Carpenter.
Can't say it enough times, but just how much better the ball travels here during the day. Amarista goes back on it, up against the wall. A little somersault.
Here's Holiday, who's 1 for 2.
RBI total up to 55 with his 2 today.
You know, for the Tampa Bay Rays, and yes, they have played great baseball. Yes, they are in a pennant race in terms of a wild card appearance, but it would be more than likely the play-in game. And so start adding that up, and they are obviously budget conscious, more so than other teams, and they felt this was the best way to get a deal done, to do this now instead of the offseason. Price has 1 more year. He'll be arbitration eligible next season. And on the other side, man, oh man, what a rotation for Detroit. And who knows, maybe David Price is the guy that replaces Max Scherzer,
right,
who declined a long-term deal for big money with Detroit.
$144 million. That's got to have great confidence in yourself, and it looks like he made the right decision.
You have Verlander, Scherzer, and David Price. 1-1 pitch. The A's go all in this year. They are saying to their club and their fans, just getting there isn't enough. Let's win the World Series. And they've been knocked out by Detroit a couple of times recently, and they're thinking, well, we've got Lester, we've got Samardzija, we get Hamels, we've got a great staff. And now all of a sudden they look at the big three of Detroit. My goodness. They said they made those deals, some believed, in answering Detroit and what they offered in a short series. But there it is. Wow. Misses on the outside corner. Dave Dombrowski. Well, he's one of the game's best, undoubtedly, as you look at GMs around the league.
Remember when he was a very young general manager with Montreal.
A strikeout of Holiday. That ends the threat. Is providing 25,000 fans ages 21 and older, the fourth Stein in the championship series, highlighting the 50th anniversary of the '64 World Series team. Get your tickets August 1st at cardinals.com/promotions. Shelby Miller with 4 strikeouts. He's allowed 2 home runs. And the only 2 hits he's given up today. The Cardinals with a lead of 4-2.
So he's retired 7 in a row.
Yonder Alonso leads it off and takes a breaking ball for his strike. So they're lined up this weekend beginning tomorrow night. Wainwright against Willie Peralta. Justin Masterson on Saturday making his Cardinal debut against Jimmy Nelson. And then Sunday, Lance Lynn and Kyle Loesch. Off day Monday, Boston in town on Tuesday. All 3 games we'll have it for you here on Fox Sports Midwest. Rick and Al will have the call for the weekend series against the Brewers here on Fox Sports Midwest.
Wainwright, a 13-game winner against Willie Peralta, a 12-game winner. And Lance Lynn and Kyle Loesch, both of them are 11-game winners. Cardinals will see some more good pitching.
Little tapper slowly hit to second base. Wong makes the play. So Alonso is retired. Brings in Will Venable, who homered for the 5th time this season back in the 2nd inning.
That'll be 72 pitches. Hopefully he can get through 6, maybe more. Shelby didn't walk a man his last time out. Got a no decision in Chicago and hasn't walked anybody here.
It's a real key for him as walks and home runs allowed have been the issue.
He's led the ball club with both those categories, walks and home runs.
Here's a 3-1 pitch. 3-2.
At that live fastball, he can change it, keep it down in the zone, and then with 2 strikes, he can elevate it. Full count here.
Fastball held on to by A.J. Pierzynski. Strikeout number 5 for Shelby Miller. FoxSportsMidwest.com, your home for Cardinals coverage all season long. And log on for game previews, recaps, videos, features, and the latest analysis from Stan McNeil. It's all on FoxSportsMidwest.com. So 5 strikeouts for Miller. Rene Rivera, the 8th place hitter, fly to right as Miller's trying to get through 5 in a day that one of his best buddies gets traded away in Joe Kelly. Alan Craig also to Boston. John Lackey coming to St. Louis, and as John Mozeliak confirmed to us, the option will be picked up and exercised for $500,000 to get John Lackey next year. We ran out of time. John is running all over the place, as you might imagine, today. But I was also interested to find out about Corey Luttrell, a lefty that's, you look at the reports that we get on some of the players, mid-90s fastball is what it said.
Yeah, it's got to get your attention coming from a left-hander. And maybe for clarification, I was under the impression that it's going to be for a bigger contract for next year for Lackey, right? But I mean, throw away the $500,000 and give him a bonus.
A double for Rivera with 2 outs.
Retired 9 in a row. They're trying to go inside on him, and he just turns on it and laces it down left field line.
Despaigne is 0 for 11 in his big league career. So David Price to Detroit, Austin Jackson to Seattle, Drew Smyly, Nick Franklin, and another minor leaguer to Tampa Bay. There are many in the baseball world shocked that that's all that they got for David Price. But as you mentioned earlier, time will tell on many deals. St. Louis on top as we enter the 6th. Tomorrow, and if you're looking for tickets, head to StubHub or Cardinals.com. StubHub, you earn 2% back in fan rewards on every purchase, and it's your ticket to upgrades and more. StubHub. A couple of all-stars right there in Wainwright, Matt Carpenter. Red Sox rotation. Buchholz, De La Rosa, Workman, who started yesterday, Webster, and Renato. Joe Kelly could be in that too. They have also, after all the deals that they made a ton. Andrew Miller also got traded. But David Ortiz, Mike Napoli, Cespedes, Alan Craig, and Shane Victorino trying to find spots for all them too. Unless I missed one of the deals that they made, which I very well could have. They were busy. They traded with the Yankees Stephen Drew for Kelly Johnson.
Talking about needing a scorecard just to be in that locker room.
Adams looks at the changeup. 1 ball and 1 strike. Hits it the other way. Base hit for Adams. 1 for 3 today.
He was seeing the way they were having the shift on him. A couple times, he even tried to bunt one time, but trying to push it to left field. They got him, play him to pull, and then they pitch him away. But as Adam said, I'll hit the ball where it's pitched. Slices it to left field for the base hit.
Johnny Peralta is lined out to right, also grounded out to short. As Mo was saying, we still believe this team can hit. You know, you're 4 months into the year, you wonder when.
Yeah, but you know, the track record is that they have done it in the past, and you think they'll do it again. I don't think any Cardinal fan will want them to hold on and wait a little bit longer. You need to see it now. Other than Peralta's average being down, you'd have to be very happy with his power production.
Ton of extra base hits in the top 10 of doubles. Leads the club in home runs with 14. In the hole, 1 and 2. Short lead at first, and Peralta hit by the pitch.
Hear that all the way up here.
So the first 2 have reached, and a chance for A.J. Pierzynski. I wonder if that'll get activity out in the San Diego bullpen.
I was wondering if it was by the elbow, but it looks like it's above it. Waiting to see Pierzynski's first home run. Very good time here.
Two on, nobody out. As Pierzynski looks at a ball. Singled and scored in the second. Fly to left. 1 for 2.
AJ 5 for 14 since joining the ball club. Warrior. Up.
The 2-0 pitch. Brzezinski hits it out of play. New teammates will join the Cardinals tomorrow. Masterson and Lackey. That's pulled foul. 2-2. So A.J. Brzezinski, 37. Masterson, a free agent to be. He's 29. And John Lackey, the option will be picked up, according to John Mozeliak, for $500,000. He'll pitch next season in St. Louis. Masterson wanted a big deal. Spring training from Cleveland, didn't get it. Now he's with St. Louis. The 2-2. Taken low and away.
Big pitch in this game. 3-2. You already got 2 men on. Nobody out here in the 6th. The Cardinals leading 4-2.
And he walked him. Bases loaded for St. Louis. A single. Hit batter. Walk to Brzezinski. The first walk issued by the right-hander. And Oscar Taveras coming up. And he is already homered today.
Balsley, the pitching coach here. I'm about to talk to his young Cuban defector.
This was earlier today. Second inning and a 2-run shot. The high finish. Familiar swing of Taveras. And really has a chance to make a statement here today with the trade of Allen Craig. All signs point to Taveras playing every day for the most part in right. And he could have a big afternoon and add to this Cardinal lead right here.
He's going to have his opportunity, and it's up to him to seize it. And as you're saying, this could be a defining moment. A 2-run home run to get the Cardinals on the board in the second was nice to see, but if he can do it right now.
First pitch taken for a ball. Here's a 1-0. Taveras, a liner, and a double play. Wow. It turned out to be an easy play for Cabrera, doubling off Peralta.
Peralta had no chance getting back. Up to Borges now to pick up at least one run.
Ground ball, and it's deep in the hole. Base hit. Borges comes through. 5-2 St. Louis. A huge pick-me-up for the Cardinals. A 2-out base hit by Peter Borges.
15th RBI for Peter, 1 for 3 on the day, and an extra insurance run. And with the 8th place hitter up there, Borges comes through. He pulls it on the left side. Cabrera almost got to it.
Here's Shelby Miller. Runners at first and second. Miller's been called out on strikes and also flied out to center. He's 0 for 2. Big hit moments ago by Peter Borges. Despagne comes in, bases loaded, and you have a young hitter. It's already hit a 2-run homer off him. You get the line out, the double play, and you're facing the 8th place hitter.
And 8th place hitter gets a big base hit.
Shelby Miller coming through. A base hit that'll load him up for Carpenter.
Wainwright likes that base hit by Shelby. That's only his 6th hit. 35 plate appearances.
So with the bases loaded, Bud Black will make a pitching change, and Matt Carpenter will be the hitter. A chance to add to the 5-2 lead when we come back. Shelby Miller gets full runs of support. 16-1 are the Cardinals in those starts. A beautiful day here in San Diego. So much to do in this great town, including take in a little baseball at Petco Park. Blaine Boyer, the Chevy, called to the pen. The right-hander is in. They have one lefty in their pen. They're not going to use him here. They'll use Boyer against Matt Carpenter with the bases loaded and 2 outs.
Boyer's done a nice job for the Padres. He's worked scoreless ball in 14 of the 16 outings. Lefties are batting just 200 against him. Righties 143. I almost feel that Bud Black has more confidence in some of his right-handers than he does in his left-hander Alex Torres, because he pitched in that game last night. 12-1.
Saw the numbers for Carpenter. 625 in his career with the bases loaded. 2 outs. Here it comes. Fastball, then a strike. You would think if you're going to use a lefty, this would be the time.
Right. So pitchers sometimes get ahead of a guy like Carpenter and you think you're in the driver's seat.
2 strikes. This inning started with a base hit to left by Adams. Peralta was hit by a pitch on a 1-2 count. Przinsky walked to load him up. Nobody out. Taveras up. Lines into a double play. Borges the 2-out single. Miller a 2-out hit. Borges picked up an RBI. They kept them loaded for Matt Carpenter, who's in the hole, 0-2.
saw the other night when Boyer pitched. He's got a much different breaking ball than what we remember.
We saw it there again.
Chris Maloney, the Cardinals first base coach, had Boyer in 2011, and Chris said that his arm was pretty shot back then. Didn't pitch well for Chris, but coming back from Japan, he's come up with a new pitch and throwing the ball much better.
He's set, and it's another 0-2 pitch. He's throwing hard. He was hitting 95, 96 the other day. That pitch at 95. It's amazing how many of these middle relievers come in games now across Major League Baseball that are young and throwing mid-90s. It's now the norm. One, two. A little bit low. Tough pitch to take. 2-2.
It's a curveball, but it's got much better downward action on it. And with the increased velocity in his fastball, it becomes a much more effective pitch. But Carpenter, the more pitches he sees, the better off he's going to be.
Works the count full. Typical Matt Carpenter at bat.
0-2 to 3-2.
You just don't see him ever give away at bats. And the best word, I think, to describe the way that he goes about it, he grinds. I mean, grinding out at bats is what he has done in his big league career.
Blue collar worker. Nobody's going to outwork Carpenter. And
the question becomes, what does he see out of 3-2?
I'd like to have that curveball, but can you afford to do it? Because it's probably going to be a ball.
And he walked him. What an at-bat by Carpenter to make it 6-2. He scored a run today. He's on base for the third time and picks up RBI number 38.
Carpenter third in the National League leadoff hitters and RBIs.
Now that line out doesn't look quite as bad off the bat of Taveras.
Borges and Miller, and the good at bat there by Carpenter kind of made that double play line out a lot better.
Good cut by Colton Wong. Strike one. Wong has doubled to left and scored in a third. Fly to deep center field, and a very nice play by Amarista up against the wall. Also grounded out. Takes a pitch inside.
Behind the count here to Colton.
Ooh, borderline pitch, and it goes Boyer's way.
Sometimes those young hitters will let a called strike affect their entire bat. Something you always want to avoid doing.
Spoiled that pitch, knowing that the previous pitch was called a strike. Got to protect the plate with two. Two and two the count. Colton Wong trying to bust it open. Rips it foul.
He turned on that pitch. It was inside and had a self-defense. Opened up the hips, pulled the bat through, and couldn't keep the ball fair.
Wong is the 8th man to come to the plate this inning. Holiday on deck if he can extend it. In the dirt. This is back-to-back very good at-bats from 1 and 2 in the lineup from the Cardinals. Runners off with this next pitch. Ball in the gap, spacious field. You never know, you might score 3.
They don't expect Wong to pull the ball. The right fielder well off the line.
Outfield is deep.
Seen that curveball a couple times now and recognizing it, lay off it.
Runners go, the 3-2. Strikeout of Colton Wong. May have chased ball 4. The Cardinals send 8 to the plate. They pick up 2 more and lead it 6-2 here on Fox Sports Midwest. Begins with the Brewers tomorrow night. All 3 games on Fox Sports Midwest. Presented by Budweiser, and then Boston will be in town. Alan Craig, part of that famous play from last year's World Series. The reception that Joe Kelly and Alan Craig will get next week, I'm sure, will be tremendous. Our Budweiser What's on Tap? Al and Rick will have the call for you all weekend long on Fox Sports Midwest. And then Tim McCarver will be in for the Red Sox series beginning on Tuesday. 6-2 in favor of St. Louis. Well, if there's any doubt, it'll be a huge ovation for those two.
Absolutely.
Miller, nice play. Steps, throws, 1 pitch, 1 out. The leadoff man retired. Cabrera is 0 for 3.
And Shelby hopefully gets through the 6th inning very efficiently.
I'm looking forward to seeing and hearing the ovation for A.J. Pierzynski making his Cardinal debut tomorrow. I asked him about that yesterday, and he said, I haven't given it much thought, although I do have many family members that are in St. Louis, grew up Cardinal fans. I know about the town and the great history. And he is a big baseball fan, not just of current players and what's happening in the league today, but all around baseball and the years and the history of the past, and he's looking forward to it. Going back Holiday for out number 2.
Well, AJ is very accustomed to being booed, but it might surprise him when he gets the applause.
Bud Bash is tomorrow, and Tom Henke will be signing autographs beginning at 5:30. First 200 people in the Budweiser Bash line to Gate 5 will be guaranteed an autograph. For more information and tickets, visit Cardinals.com/promotions. So 2 quick outs, and here's Solarte, 84 pitches for Shelby Miller. Borges, his good speed makes that play. Boy, is he fast out there. You see it at times like that. That's a good play by Peter Borges. We'll catch a flight back home and take on Milwaukee tomorrow. AT&T fan photo. Cardinals started play 2.5 games out in the Central Division. Milwaukee not playing today. Pittsburgh is playing later tonight. They'll be at Arizona. Jeff Locke getting that start. Cincinnati with Johnny Cueto at Miami. That's later tonight as well. Cincinnati is 6 games out. Cardinals hold on here. They'd be 2 out heading into the weekend series at Busch Stadium beginning tomorrow, and still some seats available, but well over 40,000 expected for all 3 dates. Just looking at when some of the spots are opening up, you could have Joe Kelly facing the Cardinals in Game 1 Tuesday night for Boston, and John Lackey going for St. Louis on Tuesday against his former team. Your experience, who has the edge when you have a pitcher going against a former team, and you would think having a pretty good understanding of that lineup?
You know, it's something you have to learn as a pitcher, how to compete against a friend. And I kind of learned the lesson pitching against Tim McCarvey. You know, and I was so mad at myself because I felt like I didn't have the same intensity I would have or anybody else. Timmy was very good to me, and he got a base hit off me, and it kind of realized that was the first time I really faced a guy that I had a real relationship with, and at times he was very kind to me on the road, and we'd go out and do different things, and I just felt like I caved in a little bit.
Holiday That ball carries out to right center. So who's got the edge, you think?
Well, I think it's just kind of how you deal with it, but you would think any good player would kind of, pitcher and hitter, you kind of envision, and hey, I may be facing one of my teammates. How would I approach him? How well have I watched and studied what he does, his tendencies?
The coaching staffs know these players so well.
Right. You can sit there and you say, well, I know what he's going to do to me.
Adams rips it into right. 2 quick outs. And Matt is 1 for 4 with a run scored. And it brings in Peralta. Bottom of the 6th, Shelby Miller had a 4-pitch inning. Blaine Boyer with 5 pitches this inning to get 2 outs. And here's Peralta, who's grounded out to short, lined out to right, and was hit by a pitch.
The Cardinals leading 6-2. We'll let everybody take 1 pitch and make it out. Like Kevin Segrist is thrown in the Cardinal bullpen.
Two balls and 1 strike. Happy birthday to Rick Horton. Rick celebrating a birthday yesterday. Didn't have the chance to wish him a happy birthday on the air last night, so happy birthday to Rick. And Peralta hits it in the air to right. What do you say we stretch? 7th inning stretch time. 6-2 St. Louis. As we head to the bottom of the 7th, Shelby Miller is out of the game, 6 innings. Did a very nice job with just 3 hits allowed, 2 home runs. Taveras 1 for 3, a 2-run shot. Will Venable and Jerko, the home runs for the San Diego Padres. That's a look at your Mazda game summary. And Kevin Segrist is our Chevy call to the pen.
Kevin appearing for the 26th time. 1 win and 3 decisions. Opponents are batting .229. overall.
Well, you have to keep an eye on his velocity. When we saw him earlier this year and last year, Siegrist has been around that 95, 97 mark. And since coming off the DL, not quite at that velocity. He's been around 92, 93, sometimes 94. Something to watch out for in this appearance for Kevin Siegrist. He'll get Seth Smith here, then Jerko and Yonder Alonso. That pitch at 94. Smith has flied to left and also struck out. "85 pitches for Shelby Miller and lifted in this game. Another fastball at 94. Quickly, 0-2. Cardinals hold on. They go to a game above 500 on the road. Colton Wong. One away, and let's check back in with Jim Hayes. And Jim, you had a chance to hear from John Mozeliak with the assembled media. Anything really stand out for you concerning what has transpired today? And for those of you that have maybe just gotten home from work, the Cardinals pick up John Lackey. They've traded Alan Craig and Joe Kelly to the Boston Red Sox. But what stood out for you?
That Mo said that this deal up until the very last minute had a high probability of not happening, and he said that may have led to the leaking of information that the players involved didn't know about it, Dan.
Catch made by Borges in left center, and Kelly and Craig, Jim, found out via Twitter and also MLB Network, I believe.
Yeah, as I understand it, Alan Craig saw it on television. Kelly had found out about it on Twitter, but again, they weren't exactly sure that it was all set in stone until they did meet with Mike Matheny and John Mozeliak, but clearly they got wind of it. And as John Mozeliak pointed out, it's just the age in which we live, and a deal that was really going down to the deadline. Sometimes details get out before the guys in the front office can notify the players involved, and that is what happened.
Tommy Medica at the plate. How about David Price? He is traded to Detroit, John Lester to Oakland. Was Mo asked about how close the Cardinals were on those two deals?
Yeah, as you know, Dan, Mo isn't going to tip his hand. As I understand it, they weren't that close on those guys. And Mo feels like that by acquiring the two starters that they did, that they're in a good position not only in this season but in years ahead. As you mentioned, Lackey has an option for the league minimum, $500,000, with an agreement in place that the Cardinals will pick that up and he will pitch for them. Who knows what will happen beyond that, but Mo very happy with the moves that were made. But you know, he said a day like today, you do kind of get caught up in the emotion of losing two guys that he said, quite frankly, I consider to be friends. But he said in his position, you can't get overly emotional. You have to do what's best for the team, and he feels he did that.
Okay, Jim, thanks. 3-1 the count on Tommy Medica. What a day in baseball, huh?
Yeah.
Stephen Drew, that trade with the Yankees and the Boston Red Sox. That's just the second straight up trade between the Yankees and Red Sox in the last 25 years. Two bitter rivals.
Two teams that don't like each other, and so it's hard for the front offices to get together.
Plus, you don't want to be the guy that traded a player that turns out to be a star for the Red Sox or the Yankees if you're on the other side.
Right. And recently, a lot of those players have moved from one team to the other.
Nice inning of work for Kevin Siegrist as Colton Wong will make the catch. We head to the 8th. Brzezinski leads it off when we come back. Sports Midwest. Let's go to our studio and a Bomberito Sports Update with Pat Paris at Ballpark Village. Thanks, Pat. What a day it's been. Trade deadline has come and gone in Major League Baseball, as active as ever today. Subway in-game box score. One Cardinal looking for a hit, Johnny Peralta. He was hit by a pitch. Cardinals have Pierzynski, Taveras, and Peter Borges. Borges is one of the bigger hits today. Chevy called to the pen, takes us to right-hander Nick Vincent.
He's batting .293 against him.
Pierzynski today with a single. He's flied to left and also walked. 2 runs scored.
Lefties have hit this right-hander pretty well. .293. Right-handed batter's .194, and his specialty has been stranding inherited runners. Stranded 22 of 23 inherited runners. Best percentage.
Pierzynski flips his bat. Ball popped up. Cardinals, before Yadier Molina left the club on July 9th with injury, they were hitting .252. And since that time, as a club, 24th in the league at .240. It's a big loss, any way you want to cut it.
Sure.
Taveras got it going with a 2-run homer. Last time up, he came to the plate with the bases loaded and lined into a double play. Cardinals also have had their issues with runners in scoring position. The second half, they're hitting .132. 1 ball, 1 strike.
Cardinals probably needs to get home to St. Louis and get a new supply of bats. You can't see it, but he's using a Seth Manus bat. I would imagine it has lots of hits in it.
Reaching for it, slowly hit, and an easy play. Build-A-Bear Workshop Day will be this Sunday. The Brewers in town. Tomorrow night, the Beer Stein. Christian Day on Saturday, featuring Marcus Luttrell from Lone Survivor. Also a kids' backpack giveaway. Mini Clydesdale giveaway for the kids on Sunday. We'll have all 3 games for you on Fox Sports Midwest. Ricky Horton with the call, and Al Raboski. Looking forward to what is a big series this weekend at Busch Stadium.
Should be a lot of fun.
Cardinals hold on. They'll be 2 games out going into play tomorrow.
Seems like the Cardinals don't have a problem when they play the better ball clubs. But on this road trip, they at times have played down to the level of their competition in Chicago and the struggling Padres. Because we've seen some pretty good pitching in this series from the Padres, though.
Here's the question for you. How good is the pitching been, but how poor is the hitting been? Yeah, you know, I mean, you wonder if
it's got to be some of both. But,
a little bit of both, right?
We've seen some very good arms. And their ERAs reflected it.
1-2 the count on Borges, who came up with runners at first and third in the 6th after the line out by Taveras with the bases loaded, nobody out, and Peter picks up a huge hit in this game. Base hit to score. Matt Adams.
And we saw what his specialty is defensively. He was so quick. He got that ball. He got to that ball in the gap, and that would have been a extra base hit.
Very good play.
Yeah. Going left and right with no problems. I mentioned his dad works for the Padres as a scout. Dad got a little bit of playing time back in 1980 with the Giants.
Fly ball out to deep right center field. At the track, at the wall, and it's gone. A home run. No, it's caught up against the wall. So Amarista back there making the catch near the sand. I lost the ball in the sand.
That's what I was going to say. You lost it in the sand. The beach beyond the wall.
So right up against that chain link fence. 6-2 St. Louis. Brought to you by Bud Light Lime, the perfect beer for whatever happens. And by Ford, the official cars and trucks of the St. Louis Cardinals. I was hoping, I was wishing it was over the wall.
Practicing for the upcoming series against Boston. Nishak will come in here, 48th appearance. What a job he's done.
He has been now the primary setup man for the Cardinals. Will Venable, a solo home run off of Shelby Miller earlier in this game. Padres had 2 home runs. Solo shots by Jerko and Venable in the second. That was off of Shelby Miller.
And he only gave up 3 hits total.
Yeah, I was surprised Shelby came out of the game when he did.
I was too. You know, his pitch count was in the 80s, and times they complain he doesn't get through the 6th, and he gives you 6 good innings, and looked like he had enough, but I guess they wanted to get some of the guys in the bullpen a little work.
So a line out off the bat of Venable, and here's Rivera.
The way I asked about Masterson, with Pat Neshek, and he was saying he's just nasty. Great sinking action. Masterson was an all-star last season. And then you look at John Lackey, he could have been an all-star this year with his 11 wins.
John Lackey goes from a great baseball town in Boston to another one in St. Louis. The history of the championships. And a strike. 1 ball, 1 strike. Also stands out about the start from Shelby Miller. No walks. Love to see that. And that's back-to-back starts. Yeah, that he's had that.
No walks in this game for Cardinal pitching.
1-2, tails back in for a ball. Hit on a plane tonight, back home to St. Louis. And a win today makes this trip a 500 trip. So despite the fact that you're playing sub 500 teams, you talk about playing 500 on the road.
Can't get those games back that you already lost. There you see, down the middle, but change of speed's enough on it to fool Rivera. Jeff Francoeur.
Popped up. Neshek, an easy inning. 1-2-3. We head to the ninth. 10 pitches for Pat Neshek. Become routine this year. 6-2. All right, Pat, thanks. 6-2, St. Louis. And a new pitcher, a right-hander in, Tim Stauffer, the 28th appearance. Chevy Cole to the pen. We'll see if the Cardinals stick with Neshek for the ninth inning, or if the Cardinals would go to their pen again. This copyrighted telecast is presented by the authority of the Cardinals, may not be reproduced or retransmitted in any form, and the accounts and descriptions of this game may not be disseminated without the express written consent of the St. Louis Cardinals. Daniel Descalso will be the pinch hitter. So Descalso pinch hitting, then the top of the lineup for the Cardinals. They have a right-hander getting loose in the pen. Cardinals picked up 2 in the second on a 2-run homer by Oscar Taveras. 2 in the 6th after they had added on in the 3rd with 2 again. I believe that is Trevor Rosenthal throwing in the Cardinals' pen.
A little surprising. He's not pitched since Chicago. So we have an off day on Monday. Run the risk of having him pitch 4 days in a row.
Nice play. Spinning. And safe at first. Descalso.
There you go, Dan. Always hit well in this ballpark, and Jerko feeling that ball deep on the outfield grass, spins and throws, but Daniel hustling all the way, and he gets there ahead of the throw.
Now Matt Carpenter, a bases loaded walk in the 6th inning. On base 3 times. Pulled foul. On the air from Busch Stadium tomorrow at 6:30 with the pregame show. If you have a ticket, a reminder that Saturday is a 6:15 first pitch, Sunday at 1:15. May want to think twice about what you're about to do.
That was Dan.
Back to the pitcher. Out at second. And a rare double play off the bat of Matt Carpenter. Just the 2nd time this year.
In spring training, pitchers fielding practice, you know who the second, who's covering at second. You throw it chest high, up the elevator, and complete the double play.
Here's a 1-0 pitch to Colton Wong. Two and 1 the count.
Stafford is the longest tenured Padre, and with the organization 11 seasons, and parts of 8 of them are in the big leagues.
Out of play. Not a bad place to spend 11 seasons. San Diego. Beautiful city.
Kind of a pitcher's dream to come here.
It sure is.
Big ballpark. But probably not going to get a lot of offensive support.
Three and 2.
Let's make some of your travel a little bit longer. And go clear across the country.
Strikeout of Wong, who slams his bat down. We head to the bottom of the 9th. Beautiful day here in San Diego. Cardinals lead it 6-2. In terms of the margin of victory for the opposition, the Cardinals have come back and won games. Last night, 12-1 loss. Mike Matheny said it was one of the worst losses, if not the worst loss of the season. And the Cardinals have come back and they lead this game 6-2 as we head to the bottom of the ninth.
Trevor Rosenthal will come in here, his 49th appearance. And he is not a save situation with a 4-run lead, but one of the leaders in that department.
So a 4-run lead, and the Cardinals turn it over to their closer, Everett Cabrera. Takes a ball. You know, you're Mike Matheny and Derek Lilliquist, and you're always hoping for a quick inning, but 4-run lead, your closer in, Milwaukee coming to town. Now more than ever, you want that quick inning for Rosenthal.
He's had troubles at times trying to have that quick and efficient. The reason he's out there is he hadn't pitched since last Sunday. And you don't like to go that long with your closer, but as you said, you want a real quick inning. Rosenthal picked up his 32nd save on Sunday. Ties him for first place in the National League in saves. And he's #1 in appearances.
Two and two the count.
That was an interesting split there.
Ground ball to second. Colton Wong. One away. We turn to today's player of the game, presented by Budweiser, Shelby Miller. 6 innings, 3 hits, 2 earned, no walks. He strikes out 5, the Budweiser player of the game.
Shelby in line for his 8th victory. Be 8-8.
Now, one of the teams that has talked about needing to shed some of their veterans, and at least at this point they haven't done anything in terms of Rollins and Howard and Utley and the pitchers that they have, but the Phillies. But maybe they'll be active here in August.
Philadelphia is last in the National League East. 12.5 games back. 14 games under 500, and yeah, that is a little surprising.
And again, it doesn't mean that they can't do something here after the trade deadline and players clear waivers, and then you hope that teams can find a suitable match. You would have to think they'd be awfully aggressive in terms of trying to move some of those players. That's 2 down for Trevor Rosenthal.
Set up away. Top of the zone. Get the little guys to pop the ball up.
Cole Hamels, Cliff Lee, Jonathan Papelbon. All players that could be had from what you hear and talk to people.
Still has some attractive players.
And a ball high and outside to Jan Solarte.
You know, it's a big media market there, and a lot of pressure goes off Ruben Amaro Jr.
Go back to the game in 2011. Ryan Howard grounds out. The torn Achilles and the beginning of the end of that great run that the Phillies had.
And you get a little bit older, more problems. You know, injuries start mounting up, and
Padres down to their final strike, the 1-2, and Rosenthal strikes out Solarte. The Cardinals salvage a game in this series, and it's back home to St. Louis. 14 pitches for Rosenthal. And the homestand will see the debut of Masterson. We'll see the debut John Lackey. Oscar Taveras, a 2-run homer today. And the Cardinals hold on for a 6-2 win.
And as you said, 3-3 road trip, so they're 1 game over 500 on the road. Look for them to play much better baseball at home against Milwaukee. It should be a lot of fun this weekend. Come join us.
Post-game show next.